All right, let's bring in Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. We're going to talk about this exactly. So I guess you're a Minority Leader, maybe for now.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. You're within a whisker of becoming Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. But having said that, let's look at the situation we find ourselves in. And that is Eric Swalwell is on the Intel Committee. He says leadership, Democratic leadership knew that he was briefed in a background brief by the FBI about China infiltrating his staff. And yet he's still on the Intel Committee. Is that responsible? Did you know about that?
I did not know about that, but this goes much deeper than this, and your viewers need to understand this. The Intel Committee is different than any other committee. It is the most difficult committee to get on. It's only selected by the leaders of both parties. He got on as a sophomore. How could he do that? They were in the minority at the time, not very many seats. He got on as a sophomore, and now he says that Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff knew of it. This is a national security threat. The Intel Committee does not meet in normal chambers. They meet in what is called a SCIF to protect from people listening in on what they're talking about. They're getting secrets that other members of Congress never are able to see. And now we have Eric Swalwell, who's been swindled by the Chinese. But what's even more interesting here is, why did he attack the American Director of Intelligence, John Radcliffe's report, talking about the expansion of China's spying throughout? He attacked...
Last week.
Just last week, he attacked the director, John Radcliffe, defending China.
Yeah.
This man should not be in the Intel Committee. He's jeopardizing national security. What is being said in those meetings inside the SCIF that we don't want other people to hear or listen? You cannot take in your watch. You cannot take in your phone. But here we have an individual who, Nancy Pelosi, this is the real question. When did Nancy Pelosi know of this? And why did she maintain him on the committee? Adam Schiff, who has spent 4 years as chair, worried about the foreign intervention into our country, knowingly keep an individual on the committee if he knew, as Swalwell says, that he was with a Chinese individual who was a spy, who helped him run for Congress. Right. Then the other question is, did anybody influence getting a sophomore member onto the Intel Committee? This just raises more questions. It puts the national security of this country. And then I have another question for them. Why did the Democrats pull out of the bipartisan China task force that would look at this problem and others? And the other committee that he sits on was Space and Technology, Science, that deals with our satellites, deals with going into space and others. Why is he so interested on that committee? These questions continue to raise about this individual.
Yeah, they're great questions, and it would be great if Speaker Pelosi and Adam Schiff would answer that. But, you know, by virtue of the fact that he's sitting on that influential Intel Committee, you know, for the last couple of years when he's been saying, well, Donald Trump colluded with the Russians, given the fact that he's privy to secret stuff, it gives him a little gravity when he says, hey, I'm telling you he's involved with the Russians. Fast forward to now, and of course, Donald Trump was cleared of any collusion with the Russians, obviously. Fast forward to now, clearly, Leader McCarthy, Mr. Swalwell was the target of a Chinese influence campaign. And there he sits. And that's why all those questions you ask are so germane.
And what's interesting, he wasn't just a target, it seems very successful. From what I read in the paper, it was the FBI who went to Swalwell to warn him about what he was doing, because they uncovered following this individual. I'm going to ask the FBI director to brief me. As the leader and a member of the Gang of Eight, I did not know of this. Swalwell sitting on the Intel Committee is jeopardizing the things that he is hearing from other members within that committee.
So can I just put a finer point on what you're saying? You believe he might be compromised by China and working on their behalf, not our behalf. You think that's a legitimate possibility?
The question I have, if what I read is correct, that the FBI went to him, and then the Democrat leadership maintained him on this committee, That is wrong to start out with. When did they know it, and why? What action did they take? From Adam Schiff to Nancy Pelosi, because only one person decides whether you're on that committee as a Democrat and as a Republican. Now, the jeopardizing of everybody else in that committee. What did he know? Now, the new question is, why is he criticizing the American Director of Intelligence when he gives a report about China? That raises a whole other question. Why did the Democrats pull out of the bipartisan China task force that we were looking at the concerns about what China's been doing, from stealing our technology, from those coming over into our schools and others? Why did they pull out of that at the last minute? The Washington Post had a story. Well, it was an equal number of Republicans and Democrats on this task force. It took me 8 months to get the Democrat leadership to approve it. They named the individuals. We were walking in to name this new task force, and they pulled out of it. Why? These are questions that now are more important than they were before that I wondered about.
Well, my question, too, is if you sit on this committee, the Intel Committee, and you have access to our deepest secrets or information that is so sensitive, we can't afford for it to get into the hands of other countries. Why isn't everyone vetted? Why aren't background checks? I read one article, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that said that we didn't have a background check on this girl or anyone that goes and works as an intern or a fundraiser or someone for one of our congressmen or women.
Good question. I mean, the thing that you have to be concerned about, this committee hears all these different things, but they also discuss them and discuss strategy.
Do they discuss them in front of the people that work around them, or is it just them in the room in the
Well,
skiff room?
it's limited who can be in certain meetings. I've been in meetings where other staff has to leave because they will be walled off by certain departments. We try to protect as much as we can.
Gotcha.
But here we have Eric Swalwell sitting in this meeting where you have Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, knowingly, by what Eric Swalwell says, that he was associated with a Chinese spy. When he was warned about it, the Chinese spy left the country.
Wow,
His
Ro
brother
too,
and
Tulsi
father
Gabbard
are still Facebook friends.
All right,
Oh,
let's move on and talk
strange.
about this. There was a picture that popped up on the internet, so I don't know if it's true. It's Kevin McCarthy walking through the House chamber, and you're alone. Can we take a look at this picture and tell us what the message is and the caption below it, above it, excuse me.
Well, to be fair, I saw this picture of Steny Hoyer sitting with all these Democrats in Statuary Hall that have lost, and they're holding an award. I don't know if that's a participation award or what it is. And the caption was Steny Hoyer with the Democrats who lost. So I thought I would take a picture in the same room with all the Republicans who lost, which was 0.
And there you go. Zero. I got to ask you about the 2 additional seats, one in New York, one in Iowa. The word is, in Iowa and in New York, Nancy Pelosi is going to step in and actually pick the Democrat, not let the people decide, as they have a recanvassing in New York's district. And in Iowa, it looks like the Republican won. Is she allowed to do that?
Well, out of Article 1, the House gets to determine who got elected. And the Democrats stole a race like this in 1984. We will not allow this to happen. Because when you look in Iowa, the Congresswoman-elect, Marion Meeks, she won this race. She has a picture up, if you look at my Twitter feed, has it as well, getting the certificate from the Secretary of State. Yep. She is the individual who needs to be seated. And she won by 6 votes, and there had already been a recount. The Democrat does not go to the court, the appropriate place to go, now wants to go to the Democrats in the House to say overturn something and go against what the people said. New York, they're still counting, doing a recount. What's interesting here is Claudia Tenney is ahead. She ended up being ahead by 12 votes. New York says, oh, we just found 12 more ballots in a drawer. Yeah. They just said that the other day. New York is the most inept when it comes to elections I have ever seen.
Because we have our governor, right? Mr. Emmy Award winner. Did a great job reforming our election system.
All right, Kevin McCarthy, thank you very much. Good luck getting some answers to your questions about Mr. Swalwell today.
Thank you.
All right.